So Oklahoma plays Alabama Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Time on ABC. We've got Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe on the call. And this, you are not deceived. This is a rematch of a earlier matchup in November. And I'm being told Oklahoma won that matchup, I'm assuming. So now we've got a lot to uncover here. So, first of all, Alabama went into the SEC championship game banged up, did not look good. Ty Simpson looked under duress most of the game. The offensive line looked like they were very outmatched. And and it very much looked like Bama didn't really belong on the same field as Georgia. Now, do I personally believe that? No. I feel like there's a lot of things you can take into account from that, but I also think there's a lot of things that play into what Georgia was doing and also play into how Bama needs to attack Oklahoma because I think while Georgia is a better team, Oklahoma and Georgia are similar in a lot of different ways. So, Oklahoma won this game last time, and it wouldn't look like, for the most part, that they actually won the game. And you might say, how does that make any sense? Well, when you outgain a team by more than 200 yards, have a 2-to-1 ratio against the team in first downs, and throw for 326 yards, you usually win the game, right? Well, one thing got to Bama, and it was turning the ball over. Now, turnovers are usually a randomized stat. They usually don't. I'm going to steal something from Josh Pate here. There's something called padlock stats and something called bad luck stats, okay? Padlock stats are if I show you this stat or this set of stats, say 2 days before a game happens, right? You can kind of tell what direction the game's going to go in. A bad luck stat, right, is if I showed you those same stats, you would be misled as to who won the game, actually. So now I'm looking at Alabama and Oklahoma. I'm right. Wait, so you're telling me Bama outgained Oklahoma by 200 yards, had a 2-to-1 first down edge, and was way more efficient on their own side of the field all game? How did they lose? Well, Ty Simpson throwing a pick six, Ryan Williams getting the ball punched out on a punt return, and Ty Simpson getting strip sacked by Taylor Wine. That kind of, you can kind of tell how Oklahoma wins the game that way. And again, turnovers are usually a very randomized stat in college football. You don't really want to predict them because you don't know how a defense is going to force turnovers. You don't know how they're going to strike. There was nothing random about how Oklahoma forced turnovers on Alabama. It was it was a very concerted effort, and it was a very, like, you could tell when a turnover was about to happen because the momentum just, like, seemed to be starting to shift. The momentum seemed to be going in Oklahoma's way. Oklahoma's defense started getting faster. And something that OU didn't have in that game that they will have this time, R. Mason Thomas is going to be back for Oklahoma. And people will say, oh, why does that matter so much? Why does that play so much a factor? Well, R. Mason Thomas missed 4 games this year and still was an AP All-SEC first team. 4 games he did not play in. And he didn't play in the first half of the Auburn game. And yet he still is one of the best players in the SEC. Think about that. Nobody was calling Oklahoma playoff contenders after the Ole Miss loss, right? People have pretty much written them off. Oklahoma has one of the best defenses in the country, if not, and probably the best defense in the SEC. Is the offense going to be there? I really don't know if I have a good answer for that. You're getting Xavier Robinson, Tory Blaylock fully healthy in the running back room. You should get a fully healthy Keontez Lewis in this game too, which will also help. And you should get Jake Mailaka back, who is your starting center. This has to fall on John Mateer. Mateer has to, I'm not saying he has to be perfect. I'm not saying he has to be great because he hasn't had to be for them to win the past month and a half. He has to be efficient and he has to make 1 or 2 big plays. That's how they beat Missouri. That's how they beat LSU. That's how they beat Tennessee. That is what Mateer has to do. And people say, oh, yes, Mateer threw for over 300 yards in his LSU. He also had 3 picks, okay? He made 2 really big plays, and that's what helped them win that game. You have to, if you're Mateer, say, okay, one, I'm not going to turn the ball over. You didn't against Tennessee, and you didn't against Bama, and you won those games. You also can't get rattled early. Like Ty Simpson got, and really Mateer, honestly, both got rattled early on back in November, and it made both quarterbacks not look that great. So quarterback play's got to be better for Oklahoma. You got to get some form of a run game going, whether that's through Xavier Robinson, whether that's through Torrey Blaylock, whether that's through Mateer. Run game has to be there. And it's not like Oklahoma can't run. Like Xavier Robinson is a absolute beast when fully healthy. Like I once you're done watching this, go watch some Xavier Robinson highlights because I guarantee you will love what you see. And Bama is not really geared to stop a team in the style of Oklahoma. Because again, Oklahoma's offensive style, while not nearly as good, is very similar to that of like a Georgia, where they rely on timely passing, running from their quarterback, and like the option game, right? That's kind of what Ben Arbuckle does. He runs a bunch of screens too. He runs some over the middle stuff with Isaiah Satania. But they're a big play-oriented offense, and they don't hit often, but when they hit hard, and they strike quick, and you won't really know what happened. Ask LSU, ask Missouri. So, the FanDuel model right now has Alabama -2. I think that's a solid line, like, honestly, because just OU's offense is that inept and that not good. But they've been that bad against Bama 2 years in a row now. They've been that bad against Bama, and it hasn't mattered. Bama's offense just, I don't know what it is with Venables' scheme versus DeBoer's scheme, but something has got to change with DeBoer's and Grubb's system on how they play call. And I really think that that's going to make the biggest difference. But I'm taking Oklahoma to win this game. Now, that is with a heavy grain of salt because I don't know what kind of Oklahoma team we're going to see. I don't know what kind of Bama O-line we're going to see. This is going to be a very different team from what played back in November because of how injured both teams are right now. I trust Oklahoma because they've gone and done it twice. I don't honestly see that changing that much. So give me Oklahoma to win. I'll say 21-16. I feel like if either team gets to 21, they feel good about beating the other, and I feel like that is a very good theory of thought to have.